Privilege exists. Everyone has privilege based on race, sex, ability. Personally, actually, I just taught this lesson last week in my class because we're reading Part-Time Indian by Sherman Alexie. What I discovered was that many people don't understand that they have privilege. So students exercise privilege or have access to it, but they don't know they have it. So it was actually enlightening to have my kids study it from an academic standpoint and to say, like, yes, I do have privilege because I am a white boy, or I do have privilege because I have all my faculties. So I think with awareness, students would be able to understand their privilege and maybe not take advantage of it, even though they're going to have it based on race, sex, ability, etc.
Well, certain students in schools, like athletes for example, get special privileges when they're in season because like for example, like teachers give less homework to that student because they know that that student has to go to practice after and practice for hours and then won't really have time to do their work.
You know, if they're like a star in school, like one of those people who's like really popular and like everybody knows them, if they did something wrong, they're like less likely to get in trouble for the thing that they did, or they'll receive a punishment that's like less than what somebody else who's like not that person would receive.
If there's like a really poor family, maybe not right below the poverty line, but not like too far above. I feel like those kind of families have kids who want to do better for their parents. Because I know like when I was growing up, my mom always like every Christmas I always got like everything that I wanted. She somehow like made it happen. And then when we moved up here, it was kind of like totally different because our family changed a little. But yeah, I know like I want to do better for my mom because I know she did everything she could for me.
I certainly believe that students do have certain privileges that are granted to them here in the school, but I think that it's all relative. And from an administrative perspective, I don't think they're intentional privileges. Sometimes they are used to motivate students. Sometimes they're used in terms of mitigating the pressures that students face during the school day, the responsibilities that they have. I don't think it's a carte blanche where all students are entitled to the same privileges. I think in certain situations, we look at case by case, student needs in terms of what they really need at that moment in time to be successful. When we look at examples of students who might be performing in a school musical or an athlete or some type of performance, the very next day they have a long practice, would we consider giving less homework? Certainly, at the same time. And I think that's, when I think about something like that, I think about it as not so much that we are giving them a break from the academic work. I look at something like an extracurricular activity as an extension of the school day. You are representing our school in this manner. Therefore, we want to make sure that you're not conflicted in terms of having too much work versus your extracurricular activities. There are a variety of cases cases where students may or may not receive privileges. I think when we look at a student's case-by-case situation, whether or not, what their family background is, where they're coming from, what challenges they may face, could race play a factor in it? It's possible. I can't say definitively that it does, but does it play a role? It could. Sometimes you have to step outside of the box. So sometimes when I hear students say, well, that doesn't apply to me, no, it really does apply to you. And you really need to think about it that way sometimes. So I'm giving you an opportunity. I really want you to take advantage of that opportunity. My usual response is, here, especially in high school, free public education is you're given a lot of opportunities. Take advantage of it while it lasts, because there are some points in life where you're not going to be granted those same opportunities, and you're going to wish you had taken advantage of it at this time.